On June 18th, Fall of the Republic 1.3 was released, but the mod isn't stopping there. While things have generally gone relatively smoothly, we've been releasing a few patches, including one that came out just this afternoon to address some of the larger issues which we'll be covering in this video. Keep in mind, for many, though not all changes, they will not apply to existing saves. So for certain changes, you'll need to restart your playthrough for them to take effect. The largest area the hotfixes have been addressing is the AI. A mistake in some of the AI scripts in the initial release accidentally removed the required waiting period for the AI between attacks on lower difficulties, meaning the AI would be a lot more rampagey, chaining one attack after another than we intended. The AI was also often building gunship squadrons to the exclusion of anything else. Both of these have been resolved. We've also released changes which reduce the frequency at which the AI will fulfill missions and enabled upkeep costs for the AI, although this came with some protections to ensure the AI isn't pushed into a situation where they're incapable of doing anything, since unlike the player, they don't have the option to sell ships to reduce upkeep. The expectation over the course of the game is that the AI will be shrinking and the player expanding, so if there were too many ways to just entirely shut down the AI, that wouldn't be particularly fun, but this only helps the AI if they are in that position rather than being something they benefit from at all times. For some players, there have still been complaints about the AI either having too many ships or attacking too often. While there aren't free spawns for the AI, and on Captain and Recruit they make respectively the same or fewer resources compared to the player, this can sometimes get to be a bit too much for some people. We're constantly trying to tweak the AI's fleet compositions, relative power of attack fleets to defenses, and so on, to ensure the game can be fun and reasonably challenging without being overwhelming. But accounting for every skill level and every pace at which players will play can be difficult. We have created a channel on our Discord for players to submit screenshots of the kind of fleets the AI is attacking with, along with how far they are into the game, in order for us to have as much information as possible to base adjustments on going forward. The wider the pool of players who submit this information and feedback, the more information we'll have to work with. Skirmish has had a few balance changes since release as well. The biggest exploit was that secondary defenses could be deployed in engagement range with the enemy station, so this capability has been removed. Beyond this, a few units and heroes had some incorrect population or credit costs which have been addressed as well. For example, Ram Kota was priced as if he had other troops coming with him, so that has been fixed. The From the Ground Up Conquest map had some now fixed scripting errors preventing certain ships, mostly Republic capital ships, from being available, along with the Republic Heavy Factory being locked when starting in Era 1. The final major category for changes and fixes has been missions, both intervention and story. As the first release featuring a significant amount of story missions, there will be a lot of iteration upon those to determine what's worked and what hasn't based on feedback, and just having generally more time for us to play with them as well, but we've made a few preliminary changes. The Anaxis annexation mission in Foros campaign could be next to impossible on harder difficulties especially, so the fleets present in that mission have been rescaled. Soulless One, being invincible, could also cause some issues in the Bothawai mission, so that invulnerability has been removed. On the intervention mission side, which are the missions assigned randomly as you go through the game, there were some edge cases where mission assignment could cause a framework crash, or just break that particular mission assignment in the case of the recon mission not being able to find sufficient enemy targets. Framework crashes basically mean when the scripts that run the shipbuilding filters, the text at the top left, and most of the underlying functions of the mod stop working. The reported edge cases, such as having a mission assigned when there's only a couple enemy planets left potentially causing a crash, have been fixed, and will continue to fix any others which get reported going into the future. There are certain other improvements and fixes we've already made, particularly in the categories of the missions and AI, but which we won't be able to include in the patches or hotfixes. For one thing, it's really easy to introduce new issues when fixing other things, as some people probably noticed when the text was accidentally broken for a few hours while I took a nap upon releasing one of the hotfixes, so we try not to release significant reworks of underlying systems between major versions when we don't have the opportunity to fully test them. And there are several types of changes which won't just be left out of ongoing saves, they would actively break them, which we avoid as much as possible. As such, following the first week or two of release, which we're coming up close on for 1.3, we try to keep hotfixes down to only guaranteed fixes with the smallest possible chance of interfering with any ongoing saves. Luckily, 0.4 won't be a particularly long wait. Thrawn's Revenge and Revan's Revenge 0.3 releases are taking most of our focus right now, and they are benefiting from some of those changes and fixes already, But you'll be hearing more about Point 4 in the debut of our slimy slug friends as a new playable faction soon.